Hey everybody, it's Mandy from Chapel Forge. So typically today would be like a pretty big bake day for us. Normally we bake on Mondays and Thursdays, but today I want to talk about what happens if you over bake, or if you have like a lighter bake day, what does that look like, or at least what it looks like for us. So we have what we call the bread shed, and we fill it usually 2 times a week with like a big bake, and then we fill in as necessary, or as customers, buy up all the things or whatever. What I'm planning on doing today, or what I've started doing, is I have some sourdough baked. So I have a couple bowls. I don't generally do a ton of bowls. We normally do more sandwich loaves. But if I have time, I'll do a few bowls. So I'm going to send a couple bowls today. We have chocolate chip, cheesy, and rosemary garlic in the oven. I have pumpkin spice and plain. So these are my Simply Bread ovens. If you are feeling super overwhelmed as a MicroBaker, Cottage baker, whatever it is in your state, these are 1000% worth it. I bought this one brand new. I bought this one off a girl who was getting out of the bakery business, and it was totally worth it. So the shed currently has cinnamon rolls. There's some flavored breads down there, yeast breads, not sourdough. There's muffins, and then there's cookies, granola, jams, biscotti, things that I normally have there all the time. So I felt like I really wanted to get those sold off at a reduced rate before I went in and threw new in there. And my customers are happy to buy things at a reduced rate. They know that if they heat up a cinnamon roll, it's still going to be super delicious. If they toast their cinnamon raisin bread, it's still going to be delicious. So I kind of want that stuff to sell off. So my plan today is I'm going to do probably 2 dozen-ish sourdough. I'm guessing maybe a little more than that. Maybe closer to 30. I always have in the bottom here, I'll show you when they come out. When I'm done shaping, like on Sundays, I normally do my shaping. If I have, we call them like kitchen sink loaves, whatever's left, I just kind of sometimes I'll mix it all into one. Yesterday I had some pumpkin spice and chocolate chip left, made that as a chocolate pumpkin loaf for us. And then I had some rosemary garlic and cheesy left over, they just didn't quite, I had a little bit more. Because when you add your inclusions, you always wind up with a little extra and whatever. And so we have a rosemary garlic cheesy for us. I always joke that how the mechanic, their family always has the car that's falling apart because the mechanic never has time to work on it. We always feel like as the bakers, we never have bread. We have random little scraplings maybe, but we never have a loaf of bread. So I was like, you know what? We're going to have some friggin' bread this week. So that's what's up with that. So I have that going. This is my regular sandwich bread, and then I had a little left that I just made into some sandwich rolls, so I'll just throw a 4-pack of sandwich rolls down there. And then I had some bagel dough already in the fridge, so I'm going to do some dill, everything, and maple sugar bagels. So those are on their proof. I'm going to do some sea salt pretzel bites. These are kind of experimental. They're going to be blueberry and cheddar jalapeno. I haven't quite figured out how to do those without making a ton of extra work. So that's kind of experimental. And then I'm making some soft pretzels for the kids. Clearly we're here for taste, not for the way they look, and the kids are not going to care at all. So I only did a half a Hobart today. So we have a 20-quart Hobart mixer. I actually have 2. I have 1 as a backup. We had 2 in the kitchen, and I just didn't find it necessary. I really couldn't babysit both at the same time and babysit people and babysit ovens. There's only so much babysitting I can do, that my capacity can handle. So what we did is we just pulled that one to Zad's shop. Again, if you know us, you know that Zad does KitchenAid mixer repair. So it'll be fun for him because he can tear that one apart. It runs okay. We got it from a bakery where it was ran hard and put away wet. It worked. It doesn't work as good as my old trusty over here. This one came out of a school, so it was fairly gently used compared to a bakery. If you're looking, again, to really up your game, up your quantity, up your capacity, Simply Bread ovens and 20-quart Hobart mixers, or a 30 or a 60 if your bakery can fit that. We need to check the oven. So I have a little time on this bake yet. I opened the steam vent. If you have this oven, you understand what I'm talking about. But basically, this oven acts as one giant Dutch oven. So you steam it, put your bread in, let it bake, open the steam vent. And everybody has a different process for this. Some people steam when it goes in. Some people steam before. Some people steam a couple times throughout the bake. It really just depends on the hydration of your dough. And, if you're a baker, you know these things. You know that the hydration of your dough, the temp of the oven, the humidity, the moon and the tides, all these things go into the way your bread bakes up. This is the way I found it works best for me. Generally on a big bake day, I would have this second oven going, but I don't really need it today. So I preheated this one this morning, came down and got it preheated. It does take, I bake my sourdough at 450, takes like an hour and a half-ish to get to the temp, maybe hour 45 if you're gonna be like closer to 500. To get it to 350, it's about an hour. So I usually try to get that preheated, and then I can like pull my doughs and do all those, take out the trash and all those other 100 things that you have to do as the person that wears all the hats. So also, if you've been following me for a while, you know that we generally have our helpers come in on big bake days. I have 5 people generally on the docket, and then I'll pull in whoever I need. Now, my all-star prep girl is leaving. She got another job in another state, so I'll be down to 4, which is fine. They're very capable. We've been trying to like cross-train people so that they kind of know how to do all the things, because we have the sheeter to run, and we're slicing bread, and we're packaging, and we're shaping dough, and like there's all these things, and everybody as usual has like their things that they're really, really good at. But no helpers today. It's just Zad and I. Zad helped me. Like, he loves to score bread, and he's really good at it. He's actually like way better at it than I am. Such beautiful scorings on these. You can't see it as good on the chocolate, but like on this rosemary, and he's just way fancier than me. If you know us in real life, you know that he is the one that is very detail oriented and meticulous and thinks everything through, and I'm a bull in a china shop. So that's just kind of how that goes. So you can see all that beautiful steam coming out. I'm actually pretty happy with these. I was a little nervous about these plains. I thought they were going to be a little short. But they actually look really good. We're very much in a transitional time here with the weather. It was chilly last week and it's cold this week. Chilly last week, it's warm this week, and whatever. So anyway, we are going to temp these. I would hope I turned it on. All right, so these are at like 150. Clearly there's still a little doughy in the middle. 150. These could be done because they're a little smaller, which is why I pulled them for us. Okay, yeah, we're gonna pull that one. That one's done. And that one's close to done. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set a 5-minute timer. Alexa, set a 5-minute sourdough timer. And we will let those continue to bake. These are the small ones. This is the chocolate pumpkin that I made for us. I need to pull another cooling rack out, but they're a little bit smaller, which is why they were done sooner. I bake my sourdough at 1,000 grams. These are probably they might be 700. So we're going to close the door back up. And if you're unfamiliar with this oven, you'll see that it says it's 450, or I have it preheated to 450. It's only at 350, but this works. They're like thermal because of the stone. So this acts like a pizza oven. So all that heat's getting held in there. If you're new to this and you're nervous because you're like, oh my gosh, this temp keeps dropping, I didn't know what to do about this when I first got the oven, but it'll be fine, I promise. Another really awesome piece of equipment that we have is this proofing cabinet that we got out of another bakery that had closed. I have this one back here too. This one was brand new. Zach got me that for Christmas last year. This full proofer it's amazing. So we use it to proof like on a regular bake day. We would use it to proof loaves. We use it to hold these racks if we're getting near the end of the bake day and we just need some more cooling space. It works amazing for extra cooling space. So it does make, so this is like technically our dining room. Our kitchen and dining room are obviously like one big thing. Yeah, we like could use a bigger table. Like, we have 6 people when our parents are here. It gets a little tight, but we're making it work for now. Maybe one day we'll build like a bigger bakery or a commercial kitchen or something, but we're just making it work. All right, so I'm temping these. I'm actually happy with the sandwich bread. I was a little nervous that I was gonna have to pull some more from the fridge and maybe sell these at a reduced rate, but they actually look pretty good. I'm actually like really happy with these. So I'm gonna pull the plains out that are done. They're not all done. One thing about the Simply Bread oven is you really have to dial in your decks. And I Some days I feel like I have them dialed in, and some days I don't feel like I have them dialed in. So like the top ones you can see are like a little bit darker, which I'm not upset about this. My friend Amelia at Madera Farms, she's also in Pennsylvania, so we've connected over, you know, bakery things. She always has talked about like, you know, some dark, some light, like customers like a variety of things, and I so agree with that. So I'm not upset to send some that the bottoms are not dark, which is something I really struggled with when I was baking these in my propane oven. It was so hard to keep them from getting dark on the bottom, whereas like you can see the bottom of this is beautiful. This one is pumpkin spice and it smells like heaven. Anyway, so that is something that I don't really get upset about. The tops, some tops are a little darker, some tops are a little lighter. It's all good. All right, so all of the sourdough is out. I'm super happy with it today. It looks so good. Look at Zad's bougie scoring. Like, it looks amazing. That ear is just fantastic. So, like I said, I really like to give our customers kind of a variety. Like, here's a big ear, here's a rounder one, here's a little darker, here's a little lighter. And then because we have like a retail setting like we do, it's not like it's an order where like I'm picking the loaf that they're getting. They can come in, shop the one they like, and go home with it. So I need to nurse the baby. We're gonna let this continue to rise. I have a timer set for bagels, and that's what we're gonna do. All right, so sandwich bread is finishing up. I already pulled out a couple others. And I have some sandwich rolls here. We have a big sandwich roll order, kind of 500 to do for an order coming up at the beginning of October. I have Zad over here working on bagels. Some of the bagels are already in, the pretzels are already in. So I'm gonna pull these and get these buttered. All right, so everything is out of the ovens, we're done. That only took us like maybe 3 hours to get this stuff done from start to finish, proofing and everything. These, no. I'm gonna have to add them in when I make the dough, which I'm not going to do because that's a whole separate dough and I don't have time for that. Whatever. These will eat fine for us. All the sourdough is done. The rolls are done. This sandwich bread looks, wow, just beautiful. The pretzels for the kids look great. Pretzel bites for the shed. The bagels for the shed look so good, which I'm so happy about because last week we did bagels. I had to do like 125 bagels and they were... I gave everybody a 25% discount and I told them that if they were unhappy with them to please let me know. They were okay. Like, we ate them, but like some of them didn't rise super well. Some of them were like a little gummy. It was a really frustrating week for bagels. So I am so happy to see that these are a lot better. So all we have to do is packaging. Someday I'd like to take you through like all of our steps for packaging because we slice all of our bread. This is a commercial slicer out of a grocery store. So we slice all of our bread. We'll have to bag the bagels. And that's pretty much it. So today's going to be like a pretty chill day, which is great. I don't know what we're going to do the rest of the day. We have some KitchenAids to work on. It's a fairly nice day, but poor Zad, his shoulder's really a mess and he's been in PT. So I don't know that we'll be doing any like farm projects or anything, but I hope you found this helpful. If you have any questions about running a microbakery, especially if you're in Pennsylvania, I can probably help you with like the laws and rules and all those sorts of things. But if you're just across the country and have just general baking questions, baking in bulk or whatever, let me know. I'm also starting to add bulk baking recipes to our website. They will be for purchase because they're like a 8 to 10 page PDF that literally gives you all the tips and tricks to do them in bulk, not just like one recipe to make like 10, whatever. This will be to make like huge batches of things for your bakery. So I'm slowly working on that. My sourdough chocolate cake recipe with peanut butter icing is up. It teaches you how to make 72 mini cakes with the icing and perfect them every single time. They are one of my top sellers. Susan wants to say hi. They're one of my top sellers. So if you're looking for a really great cake to add to your lineup, check out that PDF. If you have any questions about anything, as always, let me know. We'll see you next time.